part 2 of the show. Internet broke yesterday as well. It's a return. I forgot that we used to have this problem. So, the podcast bros, they're fine with it. They're not bothered. Right, okay. Thank God we can find out what he knows about the Shard Speaker, which is nothing. He's got a spell, -1 to wound, which I think is the other point as well. Right. So that's the Slaanesh stuff. More Slaanesh stuff, obviously, coming tomorrow, and we'll find out what's going on there. Let's go over to the door of. Oh yes, he also gives Hedonites +1 to wound. Thank you, but wholly within 12 inches. +1 to wound, wholly within 12 inches. And if this model casts a spell, he gets a +2 to his save, which is a 5-up, so he ends up on a 3-up save. So we'll see. I'm not too stressed about any of those abilities right now because we can't really tell how it's going to stack. Okay, I have some stuff for Daughters of Khaine. Daughters of Khaine. Let's go for that, shall we? Right. So we have some traits from Calibron, which I think is interesting. Big shout out to Shadowhammer for these. What's the one that I like the most? So let's talk about Graith. Because I've always been a Kraith player, is the one thing. Is it Kraith? Or is it Drachiganeth? Where is it? Somewhere. Sorry, everyone. I had to put this together very quickly this morning. Let's go find this out. Where is the information? Is it Calibron? No. Right, so his O injection should be on this. Yeah. All right. So, let's talk about Daughters of Khaine. So we know Daughters of Khaine points are changing. So there's been some significant points changes. So I've got those initially. So Sister Slaughter 120 points per 10, which tells 100 points. And they've had a War Scroll change, so they're only going to have max 3 attacks. The Avatar is 130, Bloodrat Medusa is 100, Hag Queen is 90, Iron Scale is 110, Marathi 600, Morgweth is 80, Slaughter Queen 100, Bloodrat Shine is 160. Blood Sisters are 130 points in their battle line with an Iron Scale or Bloodrat. Bloodstalkers battle line with Iron Scale or Bloodrat. Warlocks 120, Shadowstalkers 100, Heartrenders 80, Life Takers 80. The Heart of Fury is 80. The Blade Wind is 40. Blade Wind probably going to be taking a lot in Daughters of Khaine armies, and the Bloodrat Viper Snake also going to be taking a lot is also 40. There's also some changes which I think is pretty key. And that you can only ally now with Cities of Sigmar and Ideneth Deepkin. Those are the only people that you can ally with. So no more allying with Stormcast. So there's going to be a lot to unpack there. The Bloodrat Viper Snake being 40, I think is really important. We saw its War Scroll yesterday, actually. The ability to snipe out 3 models is going to be pretty good. We're also pretty certain that their prayers and not endless spells, right? So Slaughter Queen on Cauldron is 270, went down 60 points. Gladius, that's pretty good. Snake is great. Pity about the model. Okay, so we are back, everyone. Does it snipe or just kill 3 models? It just kills 3 models. That's good. That's cool. And narrative. Hearthstone, thank you very much for resubscribing. The snake is definitely predatory under spell, says Colonel Cabbage. Okay, we're waiting to see if they're prayers. We're waiting, thanks to Blader. We're waiting to see if this is prayers. No allying with Stormcast. I guess words got back to Sigmar because of the drama. So there isn't loads to say here apart from, well, I mean, there's some. Hagnar's had some of the rules changed. So obviously we saw it's +1 to rights of battle. And its command ability is pick 1 Cauldron of Blood within 3 inches of friendly Hagnar units and hold within 12 of Hagnar hero. Add 3 inches to the move of that unit. It's not really a massive big deal. The 5-up DPR save is now wholly within 12 inches of the general. So that's the huge change. So what the most, although there are now other competitive builds that we used to know about for Daughters of Khaine was obviously Hagnar, Big Cauldron. It would give out its Shield of Blood, which is +1 save. Also, it would add +1 to the rights of battle, so you would end up with a 5-up DPR save. There was also the ability to... thank you very much, Diadrin, for gifting a gift subscription to our brand new subscriber, Bay. So yeah, it's fine. Right, so, and also to Gary P. Also, Dadrin, thanks for donating the loads. That's lovely of you. So, pick one Cauldron of Blood within sorry. So that what you used to do is conga line out the unit of Witch Elves. You used to conga out the unit of Witch Elves, and then you used to give it a 5-up DPR, right? And then it would be re-rollable because of a prayer. How many gift subscriptions did you give out, Dadrin? Thanks, bud. Loads and loads. Oh, thanks everyone. Welcome to the team. Thanks, Dadrin. That's lovely of you. Let's go. Everyone in the grot gang. You guys are great. Thanks. Thanks, Dadrin. That's lovely of you. So yeah, holding within 12 inches, which is a huge change. Huge change. Because obviously what would happen before is you would conga line out, you would charge with a big brick, and you would have it snake back thematic, ultimately, snaking it back. You would to the Cauldron, and then they would have a 5-up re-rollable DPR save against the enemy. Now, being wholly within 12, that's going to be much, much harder to do. So, big change there. Pick one melee weapon, and so the other kind of key change that we're obviously going to see is some of those endless prayers / spells, depending on what we actually know of them. And we've seen a change also to Mind Razor. Mind Razor used to be I'll tell you what it is now anyway. So it now gives you +1 rend and damage on the charge. On the charge. It's not against your bravery, it's on the charge. So it's going to be rough on Sisters of Slaughter. Sisters of Slaughter were taken a lot because they were able to run and then pile in 6 inches. They were super useful in the activation wars. They were just super useful anyway. Really, really good because they could do more wounds if you hit them, if they took the blades. But now, obviously, you can only get that bonus if you charge, and it's quite hard to cast, which is going to be pretty rough. Right, so being Marathi always being the general, Hagnar will have a 5-up feel no pain from her too, so it's cold traps. That's something I'll have to look at, I think. Right, so the one I wanted to talk about the most is it Kraith? Holy Within. So it's Kraith. So Kraith have got a cool ability, which is you roll a dice for each Kraith that fought on a 5+. They can fight again at the end of the combat phase, which is going to be pretty wild. Because, of course, that means Marathi is going to get some great opportunities to attack 3 times. Yeah? 3 times. So, obviously, the hero phase, pile and attack, the combat phase, pile and attack, and then a 5-up is going to be another attack. And that's pretty rough. And in fact, actually, if you wanted to stack it, you could put Baby Marathi in the fight as well, because it'll be a Kraith unit. So, that's pretty rough. Pretty rough. Anyway, I don't have enough information on Daughters of Khaine stuff now to bang on about it, so I won't, because I don't want to misrepresent something and it ends up into a whole thing. So I won't do that. So generally, and also the internet fucking broken, it's thrown me for a kilter and I don't really know what to do. So generally, what do we all think? How do we all feel? Podcast guys, how are you feeling? How are you all which ones are you most excited about? Daughters of Khaine or the Slaanesh book? And do you think that they're going to be good, medium, or broke? I guess is the real question. I'd love to hear what you guys think so far based on the information. Did we talk about the DOK and the spells? We did. They're all viable, I think. They're all very decent. Slaanesh is on the naughty step. Daughters of Khaine are going to rock. Okay, I think Slaanesh is going to be really good, looking at this so far. Warchebby, super happy with Daughters of Khaine. I just want to play at this point. Agreed, me too. Torian thinks they're both going to be very strong. I think they're both very strong, says Rob Kelly. Have you seen the Slaanesh Fatty War Scroll? Not yet. Pete, I love you so. Don't get 2020 Rob out. It's 2021 Rob. Good book. I can see some nasty combos if true. Yeah, just update War Scroll build already. I want to build lists. Me too. Slaanesh seems initially overpointed. It'd be interesting to see where it does go with it. Okay. Oh no, hold on. Let me go get... We might have the Fatty War Scroll. Gentlemen, hold on. We're not going. If we've got the Fatty War Scroll, we're staying for this. Thanks, boys. 400 points apparently. Is it in English? Oh, baby. Let's go. Thank you to our man in the chat. Hold on. Let's go get it up, as they say. Oh, for God's sake. Save image. Oh, you can't save images off Twitter. Oh, okay. All right, there we go. We can look at it like this. Can we make it bigger? No. Fuck. I'm not gonna be able to read it, lads. I can't read it. Look, it's like this, and I'm gonna be squinting. No one wants to see me squinting. I can't screenshot. So he's got 18 wounds with a 3-up save. All right. He has got loads of companions. Okay, abilities. The Great Gourmand. This model gains an ability each battle round as shown below. Note all of the abilities are cumulative. Okay, so 18 wounds with 3-up saves, pretty decent. And he starts out at move 8, pretty slow. The guy's pulling the chariot. 6 attacks each, 3s, rend 1, 3 damage. Oh, baby. Okay. Right, so let's look at his ability, shall we? And he's 400 points, apparently. Apparently he's 400 points. It's a lot of abilities. It's going to take ages to read. All right, so battle round 1, aperitif. Add 1 to the bravery characteristic of friendly mortal Hedonite units within 60 of this model. Whatever. So that's battle round 1. Battle round 2, starter. This model can run and still charge in the same turn. Movement 8, run and charge. Okay. Battle round 3, main course. Do not take battle shock tests for friendly mortal Hedonite units while they're wholly within 12 inches of the model. Pretty weird on a fast army. Oh no, sorry boys. Let me just get the phone number out. That's rough. That's oh no. Sorry, that's mean. You're right, boys. Let me just crop that out. There we go. Let's go back. It's too late now, but you know, let's just change it. Sorry, Lord Limpet. Right, so what are the keywords? Oh, Chaos, Mortal, Slaanesh, Hedonite, Hero, Wizard, and Gluttos or Skollion. Okay. What else has he got? So battle round 4, at the end of your hero phase, you can replace the spell this model knows from the Law of Pain and Pleasure table with a new spell from the table. In addition, this model can attempt to cast 1 extra spell on your hero phase. Whatever. Could be useful, but it's battle round 4. And then number 5, you can reroll casting, dispelling, and unbinding rolls this model. Okay. Right. Okay, all right, not that interesting. So the battle round things isn't very interesting so far. So Fog of Temptation, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by this enemy units that within 12 inches of this model. Okay, and it's subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by enemy units within, not wholly within. Wholly within. So that's fascinating. So it's going to be 12 inches range minus 1 to hit bubble for units. So this guy's going to want to get straight into combat. Yep, a big net. That's what he's got. A big net. And then, so that's his Fog of Temptation. Then he's got the Leerstave Lushar. Add 1 to the casting, dispelling, and unbinding rolls for this model. So +1 to cast, dispel, and unbind. Right, so then he's got his companion abilities. Let's read about the companions, shall we? The companions that currently accompany Gluttos vary depending on the number of wounds suffered by this model, as shown on the damage table. You can only use the companion abilities for the companions currently accompanying Glutton, and only one of those companions can attack. For all other rules purposes, the companions are treated as the same manner as the mount. Okay. So, he's got sneak extraction. So, companion abilities. The Painbringer. If the unmodified wound roll for an attack made by this model's Wailing Greatblade is a 6, that attack afflicts 2 mortal wounds on the target when the attack sequence ends. And the Wailing Greatblade is 3 attacks, 3s, rend 2 damage, so whatever. Lashmaster Visik is you can reroll charge rolls for this model. Okay, so reroll charge rolls, run and charge eventually, -1 to hit in a bubble around him. I think that's interesting. He's not a monster either. Chaos, Mortal, Slaanesh, Hedonite, Hero, Wizard, Gluttos, or Skollion. He's not a monster, gentlemen. Not a monster, he's a chariot. So, pretty wild. The Priestess Doleki In your hero phase, you can say that the Daleki will call the Slaanesh to protect her master. If you do so, roll a dice on a 1, nothing happens. On a 2+ until your next hero phase, you can roll a dice each time you allocate a wound or a mortal wound on this model. It's got a 5-up DPR save. So, 18 wounds, 3-up armor save, 4-up DPR save. That's pretty good. That's pretty wild. That is pretty wild. Command ability. Finally, we see one in the army. You can use this command ability once per turn in your hero phase, and if you do so, pick one friendly Hedonite unit wholly within 12 inches of this model until your next hero phase. If an enemy unit is destroyed by an attack made by that Hedonite unit, then their wounds that remain to be allocated to the enemy unit from that attack heal up the same amount of wounds allocated to this Hedonite unit. Okay, so Gorge on Excess is what it's called. So basically, if he attacks a unit, and another unit that's wholly within 12, and a Keeper of Secrets next to him would be pretty cool. For if they kill a unit, any excess damage done over the wound, so let's say you do 20 wounds to a 10 wound unit, they'll heal up 10 wounds. That's pretty wild. That would be awful. So, like, you couldn't, I mean, depending on his output, like, you know, 6s are going to do some exploding hits, but you probably couldn't, I mean, would you even want to try and tag him with, like, a 10-man unit anyway? Probably not. So, yeah. Heal Archeon. Oh, my God. Simon has nailed it. Thank you very much. Oh, ho, ho, ho! Heal Archeon is really good. Holy shit. We haven't. He's also a wizard as well. Can't heal Archeon. Why? Pick one friendly Hedonite unit wholly within 12 inches. It can. Archeon's a Hedonite. Yeah, he's definitely a Hedonite. Whew. Okay, that's cool. Archeon. I mean, even on a Keeper of Secrets next to him. Hey, Tibbles. Big love. Right, okay. So then, the model is a wizard. He can attempt to cast 2 spells, unbind 2 spells, and he's got a spell, Crippling Famishment. Crippling Famishment has a casting value of 7. If successfully cast, pick one enemy unit within 18 inches of the caster that is visible to them until your next hero phase. Halve the move characteristic of a unit, halve run rolls for that unit, and halve charge rolls for that unit. Wow. 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 That's pretty good, and can cast 2 spells as well from Law of. And now 18 inches is, obviously you could use a portal if you wanted to cast a portal. He's obviously got +1 to cast as well, naturally, so that's super useful as well. We haven't even talked about him using something like Cogs, so he ends up on a 3-up rerollable save with a 5-up DPR, -1 to hit, so he could just survive. Obviously he could cannibalize stuff and eat them. I feel like Glottos, depending on the rest of the list, depending on how you can fit stuff in and the points, and you could be a little bit more cavalier with him because he's in a fight, maybe. But people still one-shot Nagash, people still one-shot Archeon. Problem is Archeon's 800 points and Glottos, it seems, based on the rumours, is 400 points. So, it's pretty good. Which is less than a Maw Crusher, which is pretty rough for the Maw Crusher. Whew. Glottos is how I look after lockdown. But not as powerful. Intern Matt is correct. It does sound like a job for 10 sharks. Iron Guts. Oh, Mick, really nice to see you. Iron Guts will dance on his head. Whoo, baby. That is plenty of damage. Let's talk about that. Loads gone off there. Okay, I mean, he seems really good. It's a lot of stuff. But basically, he's -1 to hit. Basically, on a 2-up, it can give him a 5-up DPR, which isn't all the time, so sometimes that won't work. He's got +1 to cast, unbind, and whatever. He's fairly slow moving, movement 8, but later on gets run and charge, and can heal significantly, and would be a really great buff piece. I mean, could be a really cool buff piece. Yeah. Not that great. Damage doesn't feel stellar, but his buff ability is meh. His spell seems best thing. I'd say the fact that he's going to be around for a while is pretty important. Like, he could be around for a while. Also, that -1 to hit bubble for everything is pretty massive. Like, it's every unit within 12 inches. So if you just YOLO swaggins him in, -1 to hit in AoE. Don't forget, he's a wizard as well. So he's basically a double -1 to hit bubble. He can just throw Geminids out, run himself in there, and he's like, cool, you're -2 to hit now. That's pretty big in an army that's not very survivable. DPR needs your hero phase as well, so turn 1 you're going to go second. Malleus, good point. If Mortalists are viable, I am in, says Haken. Can you read the spell again, please? Sure, no problem. Crippling Famishment has a casting value of 7, and not the easiest to cast, but he's going to be casting on a 6. If successfully cast, pick one enemy unit within 18 inches, not wholly within 18 inches, within, of the caster, and is visible to them until your next hero phase. Halve the move characteristic of that unit, halve the run rolls, and halve the charge rolls for that unit as well. Do you think you'll be able to stack modifiers in AOS 3? Maybe. Could do. Maybe they'll take that over from 40k, maybe they won't. I'm not really sure. Do we think it's a major issue in Age of Sigmar 2? Probably. Do Games Workshop have any clue what's happening in Age of Sigmar 2? None. So, your guess is as good as mine. Gluttus seems not outrageous. Really good, but not outrageous for 400 points, which is nice. It would be rough if he was super auto include, because then you would obviously have to paint that model, which is a nightmare. At 400 points, he seems like a good ally. That's a good point. He has a lot of tech for sure. Nice piece to build an army around. I agree with that. I think you could build a fun army around him, but you don't have to take him. Anyway, this has been great. I'm so sorry the stream broke halfway through. That was rubbish. I don't know what happened there, so apologies to everyone. He's super good, though. Yeah. Glottos, seal of approval, big thumb. In fact, everything we've seen so far has seemed very good. The only thing maybe that weirded me out was the 4 wounds, but you guys are right. Heals at 4 wounds. What am I talking about? It just feels weird, right? So those guys, and then what else? The depravity change, I feel like is a huge positive. Happy with that. I'm happy with the change, but I'm not happy with the price of stuff. That's pretty strong. Daughters of Khaine, I'll have to break down properly tomorrow. And so that's it. So is the little guy a halfling? Grinaldi is a halfling in your heart. Let's talk about that, shall we? There we go. All right, listen, I'm going to head out, guys. Thanks very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. The men who read book will read book tonight, so I'll be able to break some stuff down better tomorrow. And obviously, we've also got Sunday, so midday Saturday, midday Sunday. Don't forget, we'll do a proper rundown Monday night. So Monday night, me and the gang will break down all the information and have a big chat about it. It's going to be super fun. Thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate it loads. Thanks for helping join the crew. It's been great. And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for listening to the podcast, and have a nice day.